Hey, this is Dead Gamer, and I am a lying piece of shit. Alright, just to jump into it right away, I'm going to figure out a way to kind of put like a flashing lies portion on my previous video, because around 42 minutes and 24 seconds I start going into the new Stronghold kit and how it does not work with the Zone Mortalis tiles, these plastic guys right here. But they actually do. So I wouldn't have even attempted, where I'm a little, oh, here we go. Sorry, I got the notes up here on this little post-it. So, I wouldn't even attempted to try it again. I already I got the kit, I was excited about it, I threw it all together, and then I was like, oh, I want to see it jam on the board, and I started putting it on there, and I was like, this isn't working. There are a couple pieces that do not work well with each other because they'll nudge them off of the little clicky things, which maybe were the ones I grabbed first, and I started to put it together, and I'm like, shit, this doesn't work. And then my mind just said, okay, it just doesn't work. But yeah, I'm sorry. I hope you're not tweeting and blah blah blahs, all that internet stuff, and you start looking like a shitbag like I am. So I got 255 people that have watched that video so far, and I lied to 255 beautiful human beings, and I apologize for that. So again, I'm going to try to figure out how to edit that thing, and I could put like a flashing lies and then put a link to this thing. But now we're talking actual like internet coding kind of thing. I don't even know how to do any of that shit. So maybe that'll be my punishment. My punishment to myself for lying to 255 people is figure out how to redact that. So without further ado, oh, and I want to say thank you to Military History Man. He's the man who said, hey, if you can't click it in there, which sucks, and I agreed with him, is there a way you could modify the tiles to click in? So he sent me that message last night. It was Halloween last night. I hope you all had a good Halloween. Mine was pretty rad. I'm just tired from it. And I was like, well, when I get home tomorrow, I'll start throwing it all together and seeing how we could figure this out, right? And I just started sitting there putting things together, and I'm like, wait a minute, this does lock in. And I was like, wait, this doesn't though. And then it started to like dawn on me that I lied. Short and simple. So thank you, Military History Man. I'm gonna get into it right now. The stuff's right here. I got my little sandwich box holding up the laptop, so we're ready to rock and roll. I want to show you the errors of my ways, and I got a little setup already going. Looks pretty sick. Let me take the box out and kind of scooch this up here. So how about let's do that. Let's get less of my crotch and more of the action. Let's move these cables too. High quality TV, baby. So here we got the Zone Mortalis board with the Zone Mortalis Necromunda Stronghold stuff. First I want to say that it doesn't click in as good, like nowhere as good as the Zone Mortalis Dark Uprising stuff, but it does straddle over all those lumps and stuff, where before I was kind of just running it across saying, hey, look, this is garbage. I wasn't really saying it's garbage, I was just disappointed. There is like a happy sweet spot for a lot of this stuff. And yeah, so thank you again, Military History Man, for making me look into this, because I would have felt bad if I mean, I already feel bad, but if I, you know, the tens of thousands of millions of people that watch my channel, I would have lied to them all. And then they would have just called me out later on and been like, dude, you're stupid. And I'd be like, yeah, tell me something I didn't know. But anyway, let's get into this, because you're like, shut up and stop apologizing, and let's talk about some Necromunda. So I got this set up right here. It looks pretty sweet. Everything is attached. Like, I left the top off of here. It's the same piece right here. It's over here. So if you like nudge the board, let me do a little, you can see so nothing's really sliding, you know. It's not in there as good, because the other stuff straddles both sides of the locks, right? You have these rails, and then you've got these four corner style locks. And the other kit straddles or locks between both, so it has a more stable. These pieces more just sit over one set of rails, which is cool because it doesn't, you know, you can now use this with the terrain. And I lied to you, but so yes, it does click in there, which I was pretty impressed with. There are some certain circumstances that it doesn't though. So these walls will jam with your regular cubes. Your cubes go on these four corners. So when you drop those in there, your wall looks really good. How do I do this? I'm just gonna leave it like that. So maybe I can pick it up a little bit. Yeah. So your piece does sit right in there. Again, this one is straddling just one of those rails right there. You can see the two rails here in the foreground, and it's only on the one set of rails, right? Doesn't straddle them both. And these corner pieces do some pretty funky stuff. But the corner pieces, and here's what I was getting at, where the length wall piece will go with a corner cube, a corner stronghold does not go with a standard Zone Mortalis. And I think that's what I did. I probably grabbed this and that because remember in my other video I talked about this indent right here that locks in? Well, that actually passes. Let me get a pointer of some sort. That little protrusion that locks inside of here actually passes the center line and starts to encringe into the next set, into the next square. This piece doesn't care because it can accommodate that, right? But this piece, and I'm looking at this and I wish it would have fell in this zone, this like negative space right here, right? But it doesn't. So what happens is when you stick this on here, this piece will not lock in. It won't do this and just sit, right? Now that's locked in. When you try to introduce this, it's not far enough over to where it can actually seat inside of these lumpy pieces. So it just sort of sits there and kind of shakes. You take that away, it gets that little extra oomph over the edge and it'll lock in. So your Zone Mortalis walls or Dark Uprising walls won't go with your corner, your 90-degree outside corner piece because of this little protrusion issue. But you can go, you know, stronghold piece, corner, stronghold piece straight, Zone Mortalis corner, Zone Mortalis straight, right? You could do a transitional kind of a thing where it goes from one to the other. You just can't have this kid right after that guy, unless I guess you shave those off, but then it wouldn't lock into the other pieces. It would just be kind of looser. This actually, that indent helps stabilize this set because again, there's not the two rails that it's encompassing. It's just sort of straddling over things strategically. So that's the one thing that doesn't work. And maybe that's where I started and just said, oh, this isn't working, that sucks, and just quit because I'm a quitter. But the doors fit in there really nice. Just got to find the sweet spot. You know, again, everything's a lot looser just because you're straddling those little studs on the board. But it does work. I mean, this stuff sits there, but it also very freely kind of flows away. But it's not going to be like rocky anymore. Like I was totally under the impression that it was just going to be this rocky, unstable thing that you had to put blue tack down or poster tack. I'm still probably going to do that with this stuff if I'm going to play a game, because depending on the sensitivity and how complicated I make it, like right here around the gates, if I had a nice solid wall in here where it has the indents to take those other indents, it would stabilize the whole unit. But because you have a break right here and there's two free floating things, both sides of these are very, very loose, right? Because they're just kind of chilling over those little studs. So another cool thing I found, if you got if you've got the Dark Uprising kit, you'll remember your cubes and you have these pieces. And you lock that guy right into there. If you drop this one, if you don't glue down your top, right, and you drop this down here, it actually will just sit perfectly. And then you also got these pieces in Dark Uprising, and that will lock right into there, and bada boom. Wait. Boom, there it is. You got your nice, and then this would obviously go here. It's a continuation, right? So you could do some cool stuff with that. There was something else I wanted to show you. Oh yeah, if you do glue those walls down though, for instance, so let's say I think you should glue them down, these platforms. But again, I'm just, obviously the last video shows that I just sort of get cart ahead of the horse situations. So I really want to not put stuff together until I'm 100% sure that that it's what I want. So if you actually did have this piece glued down, right, like they say to do in the instructions, and you stick them in there, and everything's sort of straddling those pieces, and you have your standard Chingaso. Let me get the top of this thing. Where did I put it? Oh, why? Why me? There we go. Wasn't ready. So, you know, your regular piece is this guy, right? Well, also in Dark Uprising, you have this piece right here. You snap that kid in there, and he will go right there. So you have the same exact effect as this, but you don't have that overlap piece, and you don't have to use that other individual small piece there. Because I'm pretty much feeling like you're going to be gluing these down. So yeah, there you go. That's pretty much the video. It's good that it's short because it's an apology video. And let me move this back up here and get my sandwich bag. I just want to say thanks again to, I have to keep looking at the notes because you're true to my heart, military history, man. I totally, that's it. So that's my apology video, and my, hopefully I rekindled your enjoyment and lust for this kit, because it is a dope ass kit. Even if it didn't jam with the Zone Mortalis tiles, I bought a bunch of them. I mean, I bought 4 of them because I wanted to do a whole base, and you know, it's just, this just one-ups it right there. So yeah, I can't say thanks enough to the military history man, because he really came through and inspired me to get this thing going. So thank you, everybody. Hopefully this video finds you well. And I got to figure out now how to make that other one where I can warn people that I'm full of shit. So that's it for this kid. Happy Halloween's day after or whatever. And yeah, I'll talk to you on the next one. Bye.